AITA for getting my aunt and uncle kicked out of their house for not letting my husband and I sleep together. NWPD8. I am 27 and married to a man. I'm married to a man. He is the love of my life. I had only ever dated women before him, but when I met him I realized I was bi and we fell in love. We got married in the fall of 2018, so it's been almost 4 years. We now live in Vermont. My whole family is from a small town in Texas, a super conservative Catholic area. I was raised there, but dad got a job in New York City when I was 15. We went from living in rural Texas to living in an apartment in Manhattan. My parents didn't sell our house in TX. They allowed our aunt and uncle, who just had their third child, to move in while charging them a small rent. In college, when I came out as bi, my brother and dad were very supportive, and my mom needed some time to accept. The rest of my family reacted poorly at first, but came around during visits. We stayed with my aunt and uncle at my old house, but because we weren't married, we weren't allowed to share a bed. We didn't argue, we both would rather make peace. Visiting since, instead of staying with my aunt and uncle, we would rent a motel room. During general, we did not visit them. But this summer, my parents and bro decided to go visit my hometown again for 2 weeks and invited my husband and I. I wanted a motel again, but my aunt and uncle insisted my brother, husband and I stay with them. The first night sleeping situation was being discussed after my cousins went to bed. My aunt and uncle wanted me and bro to take the spare bedroom husband on couch. Not all 3 of us took issue with that. They snapped that we were not really married because we were gay, and that they had children in the house. This hurt my husband's feelings, and he started crying and ran out of the room. When my husband ran out, my uncle had the audacity to start laughing. That's when I saw red. I started cussing them out so loudly that my young cousins came to investigate. I told them that if they didn't go apologize to my husband immediately, then I was going to tell my dad what just happened, and I was going to make sure to have them kicked out of the house that was still in my parents' name. My brother seconded everything that I was saying. They started backtracking and saying that we were still welcome and must chew their house, but that we had to follow their rules. I responded that it wasn't really their house. I told them they were going to be homeless if I had my way. The kids started crying because they heard me say they were all going to be homeless, so we left. My husband was on the porch crying. I promised him that I would never subject him to that again. I told dad what happened. To say that my dad was angry would be an understatement. That he served them a notice of eviction for 60 days. I have been getting calls and texts and Facebook messages from my family calling me AH. I want to know AITA for allowing my young cousins to end up homeless. Is it fair that they have to pay for what my aunt and uncle said to me and my husband?